All right, it is story time, fellas, and you are going to love tonight's story, especially if you yourself are paying alimony and child support to your ex-wife or your ex-partner, right? And you're not happy about it. You are going to love what the latest research has to say on this subject. So, let's crack into tonight's story, shall we? It says that there are more women in the U.S. than ever before that are now paying their former husbands alimony and child support, and they are not happy about it. 56% of divorce lawyers across the United States have seen an increase in mothers paying child support in the last 3 years alone. 47% have noted a hike in the number of women paying alimony. Ooh, how does that feel? How does that feel for the shoe to be on the other foot? Because if there's one thing that women do not like to separate with, it is their money, right? As much as they love to accuse men of rolling around naked with their money and just idolizing their money, from what I've seen, it's mostly women who are tight-fisted and pretty stingy when it comes to them having to give away any of their own money, right? They like to keep as much of it as possible for themselves. So this is going to be a very, very juicy article that we're going to go through tonight. So let's crack right into this. It says, the tables have turned in U.S. divorce courts, with women now paying their former husbands alimony and child support more than ever before, according to U.S. lawyers. As women climb higher in the career ladder and outpace their ex's salaries, when love goes wrong, back up there. When love goes wrong and marriages break up, they are being compelled to contribute to the livelihood of their former spouses, and some are not happy about it. Let's be honest here. Most are not happy about it. I would say most of these women are quite ticked about this, that they have to pay for their men, right? You know how guys always harp about having to pay for a vagina they're not using. Now they have to pay for a penis they're not using. It says more and more women are finding that having broken the glass ceiling with their wages, that they are having to pay alimony and child support if the marriage ends. Ooh, how does that feel, ladies? You've finally broken that glass ceiling. We've gotten it, women. Equality. Women supporting women. Hashtag. Empower women. Right? Well, you got what you wanted, right? You wanted equality, you got it. Now you got to pay up, just like men do. Oh, you don't like that part of equality, do you? Right? Oh, no, I don't want that part of equality. I want the part where I'm just a woman, I'm helpless. I need someone to take care of me. Not anymore. Those days are over. Okay, it says more than 56% of divorce lawyers across the United States have seen an increase in mothers paying child support in the last 3 years alone, and 47% have noted a hike in the number of women paying alimony, according to the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers. It shows that women have really moved up financially, and that in many instances, they are the major breadwinners in a lot of families, said Alton Abramowitz, the president-elect of the Academy. They have that? Okay. The glass ceiling has been pierced, and more women have taken over the financial responsibilities and have been saddled with them as well. So the glass ceiling has been pierced, ladies. No more glass ceiling. But the negative side is you got to take over the financial responsibilities as well if you married some dude who is making less than you, which is becoming more and more common these days, where more and more men are not graduating, or I should say less and less men are graduating from college. More and more women are getting these very high-paying corporate jobs and their husbands are not. Just because their husbands are not being parachuted in, they're not. These corporations are not twisting the arm of these politicians to get more men in. No, they're twisting the arms to get more women in. So there's not. It's not all rainbows and sunshines, is it, ladies? It says here, it is a fact of the way our society has evolved over the last number of years. You mean since the 60s, since feminism? That's what you really meant to say, right? Let me just fix that for you. Okay, there's a photo here, and this one is of the ex-Yahoo CEO, Susan Decker, and her former husband, Michael Covey. It says, in happier times, Michael Covey left, this Chad with the red shirt here, and Susan Decker appear together in this photo taken in 2007, the same year that the couple filed for divorce. Recent examples, such as the case of ex-Yahoo boss Susan Decker, 49, who reached a settlement with her husband, Michael Covey, or Michael Dovey. What's his name? Michael Covey or Dovey? They need to learn how to spell it, the Daily Mail. It says, she reached a settlement with her husband, ex-husband now, Michael Covey, to the tune of $71 million to prove this point. This dude got $71 million for being married to this corporate career woman, the ex-Yahoo boss, Susan Decker. This guy now gets $71 million. He's never going to have to work another day in his life. And clearly you could see from this photo that she kind of swung for the fences with this dude. And this dude is somewhat of a Chad. He's an older Chad, but you can tell this dude, man, 6'4". He's got the khakis. He's got this surfer wristband over here, and he's got this ex-1990s garage band grunge haircut. But that's what she went for, right? She went for this former Chad, and now she's going to have to pay out for that. So yes, lady, you got your Chad. Somebody did it, fellas. Somebody got a Chad, but she wasn't able to hang on to him, and now she has to pay Chad $71 million. Woo! It's a lot of dough. That's a lot of dough for Chad. It says here that Michael. It says here that Michael stopped work when he was in his 30s as his former wife's career was in the ascendancy. So he was in his 30s when he stopped working because his wife started getting these these jobs with these big high-tech companies like Yahoo. With 3 children aged between 5 and 15, the divorce proceedings between the pair were bitter. Yeah, $71 million. I bet they were bitter. But the key detail to emerge from the battle was that Decker was responsible for the family finances and obsessed over every penny. Of course she did. So his wife obsessed over every single penny. Of course she did, right? She's female. She wants to keep as much of that money for herself as possible. And to prove this is a growing phenomenon and not an instant change, there is the case of actress Anne Heche. Is that how you say her name? Anne Heche. Anne Heche. There she is right here. Never really watched any of her TV shows or movies, but there she goes. There's Anne Heche. As the principal breadwinner in her marriage to Coley LaFoon, Anne Heche had to pay him alimony and child support payments to him and the child that they had together. 3 years ago, she reached a divorce settlement with her former husband, Coley LaFoon, which included monthly child support payments to LaFoon for their son. Abramowitz, who has been practicing law for 39 years, described the findings of the survey and the changed role of women in the workforce as a sea change. Oh, so wonderfully put, a sea change. In his graduating law school class of 135, there were just 6 women at the time. Data from the Digest of Education Statistics show that the number of men and women receiving medical degrees in the U.S. is almost equal, unlike 1980 when only about a third of medical degrees were awarded to women. The number of women getting law degrees has nearly doubled. you are seeing the results of that, the impact now in terms of the professions, Abramowitz said. Personally for me, the lawyers that I have are all male except for one. And that's because she thinks like a dude. She kind of has some testosterone pumping through her veins, so she does think like a dude. And as far as doctors go, I have a male doctor. I don't care if this even sounds misogynistic. I trust male doctors more. I feel like they're just going to be a little more truthful and pretty blunt and straightforward with me, rather than female doctors who are generally more worried about how you perceive them. Just because I do all this pickup and game, I know female nature. I've even dated doctors, right? I've dated doctors, I've dated lawyers, and I even dated a relationship therapist once, and I just see how they interact with their clients, and it's really at the base core of themselves. It's really, they're more concerned about how they're perceived. So that concerns me as a patient, as a client, or as somebody who's doing business with them, because I don't want the focus to be on their insecurities. I want the focus to be on getting the result. So this is why I generally don't hire female doctors, lawyers, and definitely pilots. And I'm going to do a separate coaching video on that, about how United Airlines is hiring 5,000 new female pilots in the name of diversity by 2030. And, they're basically going to risk people's lives in the name of diversity. And this is why I'm starting to fly less and less. And once this spreads across to all the airlines, I will stop flying completely. I don't need to fly. I mean, I've traveled all my life, and, I won't miss it. It's fine. But I'm not going to risk my life getting on a plane where, we have some diversity pilots up front who did not pass the requirements that everybody else had to, and they were parachuted in. No way. You want to risk your life on that? Be my guest, but I'm not doing it. Anyway, it says here in his graduating class. Okay, we already went through that. So basically, saying here in this photograph, 56% of divorce lawyers across the United States have seen an increase in mothers paying child support in the last 3 years. And of course, 47% hike in the number of women paying alimony. Although women have made strides professionally, important to note, the divorce rate in the United States has remained fairly consistent. About half of marriages in the United States end in divorce. The rate has hovered between 46 to 53% for decades, he added. Just as many men grumbled about paying alimony to their former wives, women are not pleased with the turnaround. Women are not pleased with the turnaround. No kidding, Jack. Of course they're not. We see women who are every bit as angry as their male counterparts, maybe more so, when they are confronted with the concept of paying spousal support to a man, said Abramowitz. So this is a lawyer saying that he's seeing women in his office who are just as bit as angry as their male counterparts, but probably a whole lot more. I think he's being modest here, because I've seen women, you part a woman with her money, this chick will just like cling onto it with a kung fu grip, right? It's most men that I know, especially with their when it comes to their money, are pretty generous, right? If like anytime you see a homeless guy out there and he's begging for change, you'll notice if you watch long enough, the majority of people who will give him money and reach in their pocket and be generous are guys. Very rarely will you see a woman go over to him and give him a buck, unless her husband gave her the $1 to go give to him. But it's very rare you'll see a woman actually go and give the guy some money. And sometimes women will just be like, oh, I have fear for my safety. It's like, no, the dude's in the middle of public and you're surrounded by plenty of people, so it's not your safety. You're just stingy. That's okay. Just be honest about it. That's fine. Right? It says here in this nice photograph, although women have made strides professionally, the gender switch in alimony payments is just one of many changes that Abramowitz has seen during his 4 decades as a lawyer. When I started practicing law in 1973, there were no equitable distribution of property, he said. The 1,600 members of the Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers handle separations, prenuptial agreements, custody battles, property evaluation and division, the rights of unmarried couples, as well as divorce and child support. So that is pretty much the end of the article, and then we have some comments below which are worth noting. It says here, someone commented, "For years, women have been taking men to the cleaners. This article is the first report I've seen showing that it's starting to equalize." And he has 57 upvotes and only 4 downvotes. And how much do you want to bet these 4 downvotes are from 4 women? Right? I guarantee these are all women. Joe Camel from Tombstone, Arizona says, "Of course, the irony here in this story will be lost on those from the left side of the aisle." Of course, because people on the left they want equality, but no, not if women have to give their money. No, we don't want that kind of equality. We want the equality where we get all this power and accolades and unearned respect and unearned corporate positions, but we don't want to take the negative sides of it where we have to dish out our money in divorce court. Ruckus, another commenter, says, "Women wanted equal rights, and now they have it." See if we have any more here that are worth reading. Okay, Jack says, "Men have to pay for it. Why not women? It's called equal rights. It's what women fought for and won." True. Very true. This is what you fought for, women. You wanted equality, you wanted equal rights, and you've got them. Thing you have to learn is, there's also an ugly side to equal rights. It means that you also have to take on the responsibility of that, right? Have to take on the responsibility of it. You can't just, have your cake and eat it too. And Lily of the Valley says, "I don't find anything wrong with it. The system should work for both genders, not just women." With that, I also agree. So, very, very fascinating article, and it just shows you guys that the tide has turned, and women are now having to pay child support. They're having to pay their husband's alimony, especially these women who marry these guys that end up losing their jobs, or they just don't do as well as them. They have to carry these guys, right? Just like the man has had to carry his wife. Now these women are being responsible for having to carry their husbands. And, fortunately or unfortunately, you're going to see a lot more of this in the future. Okay, as more women graduate from college, as more of these women are just kind of forced in to these high salaried executive level positions, they're going to be the breadwinners, and their husbands aren't going to be able to keep up because nobody's kicking open the doors for us to get these C-level jobs in the corner office and these big Fortune 500 corporations. Nobody's helping us do this. We have to do it ourselves. And not only do we have to compete against other men, other women, other qualified candidates, but we have to compete against these diversity quotas, these gender quotas, right? Because no longer is it about being the best, right? You could be the best and still not get the job if you're the wrong skin color, if you're the wrong gender. And that is just not a society I want to be a part of. I'm glad I don't work in corporate America anymore. I'm so glad I started my business when I did. I kind of started to see the writing on the wall back then, and I wanted to free myself from all this. So I'm glad I never have to take another job ever again, and I don't have to be part of this shit show called corporate America that is simping to basically Marxism, right? I mean, let's call it what it is, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. Once we get down to brass tacks, this is just flat out Marxism. And I'm just glad I don't have to participate in that in that environment anymore where I have to, simp for a job or, simp to corporate America to get a paycheck. I'm completely fine on my own and freed myself financially and never have to worry about this crap again. And it's just sad where the direction I see everything going in. But it's not all it's not all gloom and doom. At least the positive is more of these women are waking up to the fact that, hey, if I'm going to be a corporate career woman, I'm probably going to have to carry some dude if I plan on getting married and having a kid, and say the relationship goes bad. I'm going to have to carry this guy. I'm going to have to pay him alimony. I'm going to have to pay him child support. And this guy is probably going to do what most women do in that situation, which is never remarry, so he can continue to collect money from his wife, kind of like an allowance, while he goes out and just wreaks havoc on the dating sites and, dates multiple women at your expense, on your dime. So how's it feel, ladies? Shoes on the other foot. But as always, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's article, tonight's story. How do you feel about women having to pay alimony to their former husbands? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think that, that nobody, do you believe in like a no-fault type of divorce? Have you experienced this before? Let me know your comments below. Share anything I might have missed in the comment section below. And as always, this is Matt Cross signing out here. Don't forget to smash that like button. Smash it for me right now. Hit the notification bell as well. And also make sure you subscribe to my channel. Very important you subscribe. So make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. And for all you guys who want to support my work and everything I'm doing here, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly premium, my monthly premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, which I'm hosting on a private platform away from YouTube. And this is the absolute best way to support my work. And I'm hosting on a private platform, by the way, that I'm paying for, so that YouTube can never take me down in the event that they do someday, because I'm teaching you guys stuff like this. I'm showing you guys articles like this that can help you. They don't like that, apparently. So got all my premium Alpha Male Secrets content protected on this private platform. Right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male Secrets content from me. Take advantage of it. It's the absolute best way to support my work. If you love what I'm doing here, if you want to help me out, that's the best way to do it, guys. Right? I don't do Patreon. I don't do Subscribe Star. I just basically, because you're not really going to get much value out of that. I'd rather have you in my premium, on my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, and part of my premium subscription, where you could get a ton of value from me, and you could get more coaching videos like this, even a higher quality, higher value. And like I said, it's only $1 for the entire first month, so take advantage of it. And all you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.